Okay, so today we have a web session about how to speed up your Revit content management and accessibility. And my name is Renato Iaciene and I'm application engineer at AGACAD. AGACAD is the developer of the world's widest range of true BIM software for Revit, and at the moment we sold more than 10,000 licenses in 130 countries. We help make it easier to bring BIM to life by eliminating tasks that do not create value. And today I'm going to talk about how you can very easily and quickly find Revit families in the library by parameters, values, versions, the host type, or any other information. Then we will make changes. We will modify our selected families. We will add new parameters. We will delete maybe some of them. We will change the type names. At the same time, we will work with the families which contains the type catalogues, because the type catalogues right now are fully supported. And then we will transfer the units from one family to another. And then we will update our project according to the changes in the library. So actually a few days ago we have released the new Smart Browser Managed version, and this is the product which I'm going to show you today mostly, because it has all the possibilities to save your time in working with your content, with your families. So in general, Smart Browser Manage, it adds or changes BIM object parameters and values based on rules. And here you can eliminate the errors, and you will not need to do any manual work with working with your families. You can just add the tasks to the families and then run the process. So the biggest benefits of the BIM Tree Smart Browser Manage is that you can very easily control the process. You can also make sure that there is no any errors with your families, and you can very easily know that and update and know that your project is up to date. At the same time, you will save your time, because you will not need to make changes for the families manually. Okay, so let's go to Revit, and I will show how we can start. Okay, so first of all, my Smart Browser Manage, right now I'm working with our Tools for BIM doc. So this is our product manager where you can find and download all our products, but also Smart Browser Manage could be used from the ribbon as a regular Revit add-on. And the first function is Smart Family Browser, where you can get and find your families which are predefined in your location, in your any kind of location. So in my case, I have actually several libraries which in different computer places, and at the same time we have our own company library which is in the network. So this is one example of the libraries. So what you can see here first when you start working with your content is that you can find all the types which are created in the family. At the same time, you can check what kind of parameters are created before loading this family into the project. You can check the formulas. If parameter is displayed with blue color, then you can know that these parameters are shared parameters, so you will be able to use these parameters in your schedules later. At the same time, if it's white color under the parameter value, then you will know that this is instance parameter. Okay, and now if you decide to have this family in the project, yes, before that you can also open a 3D WF file with information about how the family is really created, so you will get the real views of this family. Okay, and if you need to have it in your project, you can just drag and drop and use drag and drop and load the family into the project and put it into any place you need. At the same time, a smart family browser works like external application, so you will not need to close and to open this dialog every time. It can be always on top. Now let's start from the beginning and let's prepare our own new library. So this is an example library. This is some catalog with different families. And now we'll start from the beginning. I will show how to prepare your libraries. So let's go to the browser options. I have to predefine where my library is located. So this is the catalog which I want to use. Okay, and here I need to add the information about the XML file, because after pressing start button, the tool will read all information from every family, and the tool will put this information into the into separate XML file. And then I have to select the catalog for creating additional PNG or DWF files. And that's it. We have predefined the catalog and the file with the browser data storage location. Then we have predefined the location for additional PNG and DWF files. And now we can start reading the process. Here I have to add the company name, and then I have to add the person name who has created this library. At the same time, you can add maybe some short description about the families. And now after pressing OK, now the tool reads all information about the families. So this synchronization process, it will take some time, because it opens every family and it reads all information. It puts this information into the separate XML file. So you have to leave this process per night or during the weekend, And what is good here, that only one user in the company has to read this information about the families. All other users will be able to use the same data storage location. So you have to do this process only for one machine in the company. Okay, and I just want to note once again that we are not making any influences on the families. We're just reading the information. So the tool opens the family, reads all needed information, and it just closes it. It's not saving it. It's not making any modifications. It just reads the information and without any influence to the family. Okay, so we're finishing with reading our sample library. Okay, and yeah, just few families left. And that's it. Here we have 53 families which were synchronized, and now we can open and see what happens, what we have here. So under the Smart Family Browser, we have all these families. Again, we can know all information about these families. We have different kind of families here, and yeah, if I need some family in my project, I can just drag and drop and load it into the project. Now let's talk about the left side of the tree. The left side of the dialog, here you can find the tree. Usually, actually, we see only the folder system or the gist of the folders, but really it's not interesting, and actually you can make mistakes sometimes, and you can put families not into the right folders. So that's why you can even group the families according to the real category or the host type or even the version, for example. So and change the orders, or even you can switch on additional parameters which are created in the family. So you can use some of your specific parameter or parameter value in grouping the families. And now after pressing OK, now we can just very easily filter and group. Anytime we can change this. Let's say I would like to use the unit system here, and now I can filter all my imperial or metric families and know which of them are phase based, or which of them are point based or wall based, and see the real category. So now I know that this is a really mechanical equipment which is point based. And because sometimes from the picture it's very difficult to understand if the family is ceiling based or face based, so now we know that this is this picture is face based element, and when I will try to put it into my project, I will be able to add it on any face in this project. If we try to take a look into the bigger library, let's say at the same time I can switch through different libraries, because I can have my own library, I can access the company library, or I can just have several or separate libraries. It depends on your company workflow. So in this case again, we have more than 2,400 families, and here you can make filters, make searches, and so on. At the same time, if you want, you can make additional search if needed according to parameter name or parameter value. For example, I can make a search according to parameter name which contains material, and for example parameter value which contains, let's say, steel, and after pressing search the tool finds 97 families. And if I will try to take a look, so it's really, for example, this element, it contains the material parameter and parameter values. We have here the steel. Okay, so what else we can do here? We can modify our families. We can modify if we are not happy with these parameters or parameter values. We're not happy with the types maybe. Actually here in this window I'm using the type catalog, because here I see that there are a lot of types created. So now we can just select the families we want, go to modify families. Here we have to add modification name, so it will be window modification, let's say. Okay, here I have to add the person name who's trying to modify these families, and now I will see all these families in the list. In the separate list, every type will be displayed in the separate row, and in the columns I can see the parameters, the real parameters. So if I want, I can just, actually these are default parameters, but I can modify. For example, maybe I don't need to see these parameters. I would like to see this one, for example, that one, of course width and height, because I want to check if everything is okay with my maybe type names. Of course, maybe I need to see the material. Okay, yes, we need again the height. I can change the order of these parameters if needed. Okay, and now we see this information about parameters and parameter values. And now with the right-click menu, I can make different changes. I can change the values, I can delete the family or rename the family, I can even create the subcategories, I can make changes with the types, I can make different modifications and changes with parameters, and then with the formulas. So if I see that, let's say, this parameter is not needed, because I see that this parameter is not created in this family, and actually maybe it's not logical parameter, I can just go and say that this parameter should be removed from these families, from these window families. If I know that the cost value should be changed, again I can select all this column, go to change value, and change to the new value. Then if I see that, for example, this bars parameter is not created in these families, but I want to have the same parameter in my in these families, the same as it is here, I can go again to right click, and I can say that I would like to add the selected parameter. So now this new parameter will be created. Then if I see that material is not assigned for every type of this family, I can again go to the right click, go to change value, and now I can select the parameter, the material from this from the families, and I can assign this material. And actually this is a new feature in Smart Browser Manage version, in the new version, because we add the possibility to modify even the materials. Then we can just select again all the types, and we can rename them by some special rule. So here in my case I'm going to use width and height parameters. Here I would add some prefixes or suffixes, let's say, and that's it. Now the tool automatically will rename the type names according to my values, real values with width and height values. Then if we need to add, let's say, a new parameter, again I can go to add shared parameter. I can open the shared parameter file. Okay, I can choose the parameters I need. This one could be instance, for example, and the tool will add these two new shared parameters. Yeah, so after adding the tasks, you can just very easily add the tasks, so what you would like to do with the families, and when everything is okay, we can save the process. Okay, we don't need to have this dialog, and now we can run this process. We can go to the run state modifications. I can select my window modifications, which I just did, but actually the families were not physically yet changed, so we just added the tasks, but we didn't run the process. And now after running our saved modifications, now the tool physically opens every family, and it makes different changes. So it's creating new parameters, or it's deleting parameters, it's changing the values, or renaming the type names, and so on. So here the tool makes all these modifications. At the same time, as I said, our last family, it contains the type catalog. So it opens, I will show you here. Yeah, so it has its own the type catalog. So it opens the type catalog, and it makes changes in the type catalog as well. Okay, so we're finishing with making these changes. So you can imagine if you would try to make these modifications manually, it would take a lot of time, because you will need to open and make these modifications manually. And here you can just add the tasks, and that's it. The tool will do all these changes for you automatically. And now I know that there will be no errors. I will not make any mistake in renaming the types or changing the values, so I will know that all the families are created according to my company standard. Yeah, the last family is quite heavy because it has a lot of types, and also it contains the type catalog, so here we have to wait a little bit. Yes, and that's it. We have changed 4 families, and we can go to the Smart Family browser, and we can check if everything is okay. So as you can see, the types were modified, they were named. At the same time, we have created, let's say, the bars parameter for these families, and also we have created 2 new shield parameters. We also have renamed or changed the value for the cost parameter, so everything is okay with the families. And just for making sure, I will open this family and I will check if it's really okay with the type catalog. So it's really, we have this type catalog which is used, which is in the external txt file. And then let's say if we forgot to make more changes, for example, if we need to make more changes, for example, I forgot to add or create shared parameters or maybe subcategories. Again, I can come back anytime. I can go back to my modifications. I can select my last modification, which I did to the families. And then I can say that maybe for these families, I would like to create the subcategories automatically. And again, this is a new feature where you can just select the needed subcategories for, in my case, I have here Windows. So I can select these subcategories, which comes from the external txt file, and which you can change and make your own as a company standard. And after pressing OK, we have added subcategories, but we didn't run again the process. So again, I will save this task. I will go again to the run state modifications. I can select again the same modification and run the process. Yeah, so there are just simple modification. We have modified these 3 families. And again, if I will come back to the Smart Family browser, I will select one of them, open the family. Okay, I can open, for example, let's select any solid. And here I will have these subcategories created automatically for me. Yeah, so I will not need to create them manually for every family. Okay, now one more feature which is very important. In the new version, we added possibility to see parameter values in the units which are used in the current project. So for example, if my current units in my current project this should be displayed in the feet and fractional inches, I will see all these units transferred into the fractional inches. So let's go back to the Smart Family browser. I will select some few families from my Imperial library. Here I see the real units which are created in the family, but I would like to change them in the units I want, and at the same time I would like to change the type names and use the units I want. So in this case, I'm going to modify families again, so it will be like my column modification. Okay, and here I will get again the same list of the families. Maybe just I want to check my B and D and BF parameters and the W. Maybe I will check this one if everything is okay. Again, I see that maybe this parameter is not needed. I can just go and say that this parameter should be removed because it was some test parameter which was created by accident. And now I see the values in the units I wanted. And here I can just select the column, go again to rename the type names. I can choose parameters which I want to add, and let's say the W parameter here I will add with some prefix, and after pressing OK, now I will have totally new type names according to the parameters which were created, which I see here. And again, we can run the process. So here again I have 3 columns with the type catalogs. Okay, and again let's go to the run saved modifications. This is my column modification, and let's run the process. Again, here we will wait some time because here the families were created with the type catalogs, and it has a lot of types. So when the family is using the type catalogs, the modification usually takes more time than usually. Yeah, but you can just, again, you can imagine how much time we would need if we will try to rename the types one by one in the type catalog, or if we will need to make modification with parameters, add new parameters, several parameters, or change the values, and so on. And here you can just very easily add the tasks and just run the process. If you have any questions, you're welcome to add these questions into the questions dialog, and in the end of the session I will try to give an answers. Okay, so we're finishing, I think, with modifying 3 families. Again, I would just want to make sure and show you that these columns, they have their own type catalogs. Yeah, just a few more seconds. Okay, and that's it. We have modified these families, and again, if we go back to the Smart Family browser, we can see that yeah, we have modified the types, every type of this family automatically. Okay, now, but physically the units, they were not changed in the family. But if you want, actually, we have such possibility. Again, this is a new feature. Let's say on my desktop I have a sample family. Let's say I will open this family, and I will say that the units should be like feet and fractional inches for this family again. And here I would like to change it to square inches, let's say, the area and the volume, for example. So after making changes only one family, I can just save it, this family, and this family will be used as a template. And now here we have transfer family units. I need to select the catalog from my computer. Then I have to select the family, which I just modified. Again, if I need, I can delete the backup files, and that's it. Now the tool will run the process and will change these families physically. I mean, it will change the units. Okay, so the units were transferred. So what we did right now, we just modified the units in the family from my selected catalog. So what else you can do with the Smart Browser Manage? Also, we have check and update families from the library, which is a very good feature. We can select the library. For example, I can pick, let's say, this one, and we'll start checking. The tool will find the differences between the families in the library and families in this current project. So this is a very good feature if you want to make sure that your families are up to date. So now the tool finds that there are differences in 4 families and 18 types. So this is the report of all these changes between my current library and my current project. And then if I need, I can just reload it and now the tool physically will load these 4 families into my project. Now I will know that it is up to date. Okay, so this is one feature, and again, let's come back to my library. I will check if everything is okay with the units. Okay, because we have modified it automatically, but we didn't check. Yeah, so everything is okay. The units were changed to the feet and fractional inches, and the same with the volume and area units. So that's it. We did modifications. Unit modifications in these families. What more we have with Smart Browser Manage is that you can resave the families to the current Revit version, and the same we added possibility to resave the projects to the current Revit version. Also, you can create the subcategories only for the family which is open it at the moment. And also we have very good feature is like project family browser. This is also very easy and very good function if you want to transfer the families from one project to another. At the same time, if you want to group and filter it by the real category, because sometimes when you are just getting to the components, here you get all the mess of all the families which are created in the project. So architectural and MEP families, they are just messed in one place. So here you can just go to the project family browser and filter the families you need. At the same time, you can transfer the families from one project to another. Let's say I will open the new project, and let's say still you see I have my current project which was before, and if I need to load, let's say, or open, for example, this family, and I would like to have it in my new project, I will draw the wall because this is a wall-based family. Okay, and I can just very easily just use drag and drop, okay, and put it into my new project. So now in my new project, okay, I also will have this family and I will be able to use it. So it's very easy way to transfer the families from one project to another if needed. Okay, I'm coming back again to my slides. So this is the list of all products which we have developed. Actually, we have products for different areas, and today we talk about Smart Browser group, and here mostly about Smart Browser Manage, but at the same time we have a simple and power versions of the browser, and I will try to explain what are the differences between them. So mainly when you put the families or the library into the server, the power user, he can create the XML file, he can have its own libraries, he can synchronize the library, and the simple user, he can just use the company library without possibility to have his own libraries in the computer. At the same time, he will be not able to synchronize any families. And the manage user is the same as the power, plus the manage user can make changes in the families, like add new parameters or delete parameters and so on. So let's say if some company has 100 Revit users in the company, about 10 users could be power, about 3 users could be manage, and all others could be just Office Unlimited, so all others could be just simple users. And the main difference is between the simple and the power is only in the browser options, because as you can see in the simple version, we have the browser options, they have the limits. You can just select the library and that's it. You can't make your own library, you can't make any synchronization. So you can just use the company library. And the power user, he can do everything. He can have his own library, he can synchronize it, and so on. And the manage user, it has all the same powers as the power user, plus he has possibilities to modify the families as we did today. And of course, you can download the trial version. And for those who already own Smart Browser Manage, I just want to say that the new version was released, and please pay attention that you need to update your installation. And for others, I would suggest to download and try Smart Browser in your computer. So with your families, you can come to our web page and download it from our web page for Revit 2017, 16 and 15. Okay, just very easy to get the trial. You just need to fill the form and you will get the activation code. Okay, so thank you. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask, and I will try to answer them.